What if everything you've experienced, both joy and hardship, was part of a larger design? What if nothing in your life happened by accident? According to Buddhist philosophy, every moment has meaning. Setbacks, losses, unexpected changes, they're not punishments, they're doorways. Doorways into growth, awareness, and transformation. This isn't just about looking backward with new eyes, it's about learning how to move forward with peace in your heart. Because when you begin to see that there's purpose behind even the painful moments, something in you shifts. You stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What is this teaching me?" Everything is always in motion, learning to live with impermanence. Change is constant. Even when life feels still, it's quietly evolving beneath the surface. Emotions rise and fall. Seasons move. Relationships blossom, shift, or fade. Your body, your mind, your beliefs, none of them are static. In Buddhism, this ever-changing nature of life is called anicca, or impermanence. It's not just a concept, it's one of the core truths of our existence. But here's the hard part. We suffer because we resist that truth. We want to hold on to what feels good. We want the hard parts to disappear fast. But life doesn't work on our terms. It's more like a current. You can't hold the water still, but you can learn to swim with it. Think of a tree in fall. It doesn't try to cling to its leaves. It lets go because it knows the seasons are wise. It trusts what's coming. That kind of surrender isn't weakness. It's faith. A quiet belief that every stage has value, that every ending makes space for something new. When you accept change, you begin to live more fully. You stop grasping at the moment and instead meet it as it is. Even the painful chapters become easier to bear when you know they won't last forever. Peace doesn't come from holding on. It comes from letting go, with grace, not fear. From choosing to flow with life, not fight against it. When you stop resisting what's real, life begins to feel less like a battle and more like a dance. Karma. Your energy shapes your future. Nothing you do is meaningless. Every thought, every action, every word you send into the world has a ripple effect. That's what karma really is, not fate, not punishment, but the natural unfolding of cause and effect. Think of tossing a pebble into a pond. The ripples travel far beyond the moment the stone hits the surface. Some outcomes are quick, others take years, but everything leaves a trace. Today's reality? It's the echo of what you've thought, said, or done before. And what you're doing now? It's building the life you'll walk into next. Karma is not a sentence, it's power. It reminds you that you have a role in shaping your path. A harsh thought, if nurtured, becomes sharp words, and those words eventually return in some form. But a moment of kindness? That can open doors, mend hearts, shift energy in ways you'll never fully see. What matters is not just what you do, but the intention behind it. Are you helping someone out of love or for praise? Are you giving from fear or from compassion? Two actions may look the same, but their energy speaks differently, and the world feels that difference. We often wonder why good people struggle, or why some seem to succeed despite selfishness. But karma isn't a vending machine. It doesn't work on our timelines. Some seeds take lifetimes to bloom. The important thing is knowing that every bit of energy you put into the world matters, even the things no one sees. There's a story. A student once asked a teacher why some are born into suffering and others into ease. The teacher replied, "If you plant wheat, you grow wheat. If you plant thorns, you grow thorns. Not out of punishment, but out of natural consequence." Karma teaches us not to blame the world or others, but to ask ourselves, what am I putting into this life? You don't have to change everything overnight. You just have to begin. Start with a softer word, a more conscious action, a thought that holds less resentment. Even your response to pain matters. Some pass on their suffering. Others choose to stop the cycle. That choice, that's strength. That's awakening. Buddhist practice invites us to pay attention, not to be perfect, but to be honest, to notice the habits we feed, the emotions we recycle, the beliefs we reinforce. Because often, the world you see around you reflects what you're cultivating within. Every moment is a planting. And right now, even in this quiet breath, you're sowing something. What will it grow into? What if what you're going through isn't bad luck, but a lesson in disguise? It's natural to wonder why certain things happen to you, especially when they bring pain. You ask yourself, why now? What did I do to deserve this? The mind craves answers and often labels hardship as misfortune, as if life is unfairly targeting you. But from a Buddhist point of view, luck doesn't really exist. Only causes, conditions, and opportunities for growth. Every experience, even the hardest ones, holds something meaningful. You might not see it right away, and it might not make sense while you're in the middle of it, but over time, if you remain open-hearted, the pieces begin to fit into a deeper picture. Sometimes, the very thing that brings you to tears today will be what strengthens you tomorrow. The person who disappointed you might have actually taught you how to stop abandoning yourself. The heartbreak you faced might have revealed the depth of love you carry inside. Pain doesn't show up to destroy you. It's here to transform you. It shakes you awake and urges you to look within. And if you stop resisting it, if you allow it to speak, it becomes your greatest teacher. Many of your strengths were born in moments where you saw no way out. Your clearest insights came in the silence that followed your biggest disappointments. So maybe it wasn't bad luck. It was a redirection. Life was nudging you down a path you wouldn't have chosen on your own, but one that led you to discover who you truly are. Buddhism teaches that every obstacle carries the seed of wisdom, but that seed only grows if you nourish it with awareness, attention, and willingness to understand. There's a well-known story about a farmer. One day he loses his horse, and his neighbors cry out, "What a misfortune!" But he replies, "Who knows if it's good or bad?" The horse returns with more wild horses. "How lucky," they say. But again he says, "Who knows?" Later, his son breaks his leg trying to tame one of them, but because of that injury, the boy is spared from going to war. This story reminds us that what looks like a mistake could be protection. What feels like an end might be the start of something new. You can't always see the bigger picture right now, but you can choose how to face it. You can curse the fall or use it as momentum to rise. You can complain about the rain or learn to dance in it. It's not about loving pain, but about asking, what is this moment here to teach me? What have I not yet seen? Change the question, and the answer begins to shift. What once felt unfair might start to make sense. It's not bad luck, it's a lesson, and you're ready to receive it. Attachment is the root of suffering. We get emotionally tied to people, habits, outcomes, and our own rigid ideas of how life should look. When those things shift or are taken away, we suffer. In Buddhism, this kind of pain has a name: attachment. It's not love itself that hurts, it's the fear of losing it. It's our tendency to hold tightly to things that, by nature, are meant to change. We cling to relationships as if they are our only source of joy. We cling to jobs, identities, status, as if they define our worth. But all of this is fragile. Any of it can disappear overnight, and when it does, we feel lost. Not because happiness is gone, but because the thing we depended on for happiness is gone. That's a big difference. Attachment is like an invisible chain. It binds us to things we can't control. It makes us anxious, fearful, and overly dependent on external stability. But need is not love. Possession is not freedom. Real love doesn't tighten its grip. It knows how to let go and still care deeply. Picture holding a small bird in your hand. If you squeeze, you harm it. If you open your hand, it may fly, and it may come back. That's the difference between attachment and freedom. When you learn to appreciate something without needing to own it, you're truly living in the present. When you love someone without trying to shape them into your image, that's love. When you recognize that everything can end, yet still choose to show up with your whole heart, that's growth. The issue isn't caring, it's believing that without that person or thing, you can't be okay. But you are already whole. Even if someone leaves, even if a door closes, even if a chapter ends, you are still complete. Attachment makes us forget this. It convinces us that peace exists outside of us, in people, outcomes, or circumstances. But true peace is within. It lives in the release, in the quiet thank you for what was, and the courage to move forward. Letting go doesn't mean erasing the past. It means honoring it and then creating space for what's next. It's not fighting life, it's walking alongside it. Life doesn't ask us not to love, it asks us to love without fear, without chains, without conditions. When you release attachment, love doesn't disappear, it becomes even more powerful. And you? You begin to breathe more freely than ever before. Now, the art of acceptance. Accepting what we cannot change. From an early age, we're taught to fight, to push, to never give up. If something's broken, we're told to fix it, but rarely are we taught how to accept. And yet there are things in life that lie completely beyond our control. Illness, loss, the actions of others, no matter how hard we try, some things won't bend to our will. So what do? Often, we resist. We grow bitter, desperate. We reject reality. And in doing so, we double our suffering. Buddhism offers another path. Acceptance. Not resignation, not saying I'm fine when you're really hurting. Not numbing or avoiding. Acceptance means meeting reality head-on. It's saying, this is what is. I may not like it, I may not understand it, but it's here. Acceptance means saying yes to what life is showing you, even when everything in you wants to say no. It means shifting your energy away from battles you can't win and choosing instead to focus on what's still yours to change. Your perspective, your reaction, your presence. Sometimes it's a relationship ending that you didn't want. Sometimes it's a dream that refuses to come true, despite all your efforts. Sometimes it's a person walking away or a door closing without reason. You ask why, and often no answer comes, but the answers usually arrive later, when we stop resisting. When we stop saying, "It shouldn't be this way," and start saying, "It is this way." What can I learn from it? There is deep wisdom in acceptance. True calm doesn't come from controlling life. It comes from letting go of the need to control it. It's like no longer paddling upstream, but instead allowing yourself to be carried by the current of life, with trust. Acceptance isn't passive, it's active presence. It's the understanding that sometimes our greatest power lies not in what happens, but in how we choose to respond. When someone hurts us, we can feel the pain without becoming that pain. When we're disappointed, we can allow the sadness without abandoning hope. When life gets hard, we can move through it without losing our dignity or our faith. Acceptance also means embracing ourselves, fully, our fears, our flaws, our mistakes. It's the moment we stop chasing perfection and start treating ourselves with kindness. That's when real change begins, not the kind driven by pressure or judgment, but by love. Over time, acceptance becomes a quiet practice, a daily art. Accepting traffic, delays, rain, misunderstandings. Accepting that others move at different paces, that life doesn't follow our plans, that not everything will go our way, and still we can find peace in that. So the question shifts from, "Why is this happening?" to, "What can I learn from it?" The present moment is all we really have. The mind loves to wander, to the past, replaying what went wrong, or to the future, imagining what could go wrong. But the past is over, and the future hasn't yet arrived. The only place we can actually live is now. This moment is our true home. Everything else is either memory or imagination. And yet, how often do we drift away from here? We eat while thinking of what we need to do next. We speak with others, but our minds are elsewhere. We walk outside but miss the trees, the wind, the sky. We're alive but not fully here, present in body, but distracted in spirit. Buddhism gently calls us back to this moment, through a breath, a simple gesture, a moment of stillness. You don't need to retreat to the mountains to be present. You can return now, even while listening to these words. It can happen while washing dishes, sipping tea, walking down the street. Life unfolds only in the now. This practice is called mindfulness, being fully present, not to analyze or control, but simply to experience. In presence, every action becomes meaningful, every detail matters, every breath is sacred. You begin to realize that most of your worries weren't necessary, that much of your pain was created by your thoughts, and that being here, truly here, softens everything. You feel more calm, more grounded, more real. Being present doesn't mean ignoring the past or avoiding the future. It means not getting lost in them. It's knowing when to reflect, when to plan, and when to simply live. Every conscious breath brings you back to yourself. Every time you witness without reacting, you set yourself free. Every time you truly listen, you build deeper connection. You may not be able to change everything, but you can always choose how to live this very moment. And this moment is all that matters. The mind will wander, that's its nature. But you can return again and again because your peace isn't buried in the past or waiting in the future. It's here, now, in this very breath. Every wound carries a message, even if at first it feels like everything is falling apart. A word that cuts, a sudden loss, a door that shuts without warning. In those moments, we can feel lost, like life is punishing us. But what if we saw our wounds differently? What if every scar was a signal, a quiet invitation to pause, to look within, to grow more honest, more aware, more alive? Buddhism teaches that even suffering is part of the spiritual path. It's not denied or hidden, it's embraced, because within every painful moment lies a potential lesson. Sometimes the lesson is patience. Sometimes it's learning to let go. Sometimes it's discovering a love you never knew you had. Our wounds leave us open, raw, but it's through those openings that the light enters. It's through those cracks that we begin to notice what we'd never seen before. Every hardship is like a bell ringing, calling you to pay attention, to notice what needs healing, what needs understanding, what's ready to be transformed. And the more you stop resisting, the more healing begins. Not the quick fix that patches the surface, but the kind that changes you from the inside out. Remember, you are not what you've lost. You are not just what happened to you. You are what you choose to do with it. You can stay stuck in anger, or you can release it. You can hold on to pain, or you can let it shape compassion. You can close yourself off, or open again to life. No wound is meaningless. No experience is wasted. Everything you've been through brought you here, and everything ahead of you starts with the awareness you carry now. And if this message reached you today, maybe it wasn't by chance. Maybe something in you is ready to be seen, ready to be healed. Maybe it was time to hear this. And if, in reading this, you found even a small moment of peace, a breath of clarity, a spark of truth, then hold on to that. Let it settle into your heart. And if you feel like sharing, let your voice be heard. Your words might be light for someone else who is still searching. If you'd like to keep walking this path together, stay connected. Let your healing matter. Let your pain turn into light. And may each step forward bring you closer to the peace you deserve.